Okay, so our next question is from Wham Bam Dan Cam.
He's very
it.
relationship minded. This one, I can tell
Yes,
already.
Wham Bam Dan Cam. Okay, so Wham Bam Dan Cam wants to know, why do I associate sex with personal validation? Is it a gay thing? Too much porn?
All right.
Yeah, but overall, why do we associate sex with personal validation?
I can answer that
Let
as
us know.
as a recovering sex and love
Yes.
addict. Personal validation with sex, it is always symptomatic of you don't have enough validation of yourself. That it's if you seek sex as validation, it's often out of a deficit. It's not a bad thing. It's just something that I wasn't aware of. The minute I discovered that, it was like gold. I'm trying to fill myself up from the outside.
Yes, and on
Right?
the inside.
And on the inside. And on the inside. Trying to fill the hole.
Yes, external validation.
Yes, external. It's external validation, and the more you kind of like realize your value as a person,
Yeah,
and you start sticking up for yourself, it's kind of like oh, this is another therapist thing. It's kind of like, why do I always hook up with guys who just want to hook up? It's like my therapist said, why do you always put yourself in that situation?
yeah, totally.
Why do you
Yeah.
always put yourself in that situation? And he also told me, and my therapist is really, really good. He said, I can't teach anybody self-esteem. That's too amorphous. It's too shapeless.
Mm-hmm.
I can teach you how to, but what's really tangible is self-respect.
Yes.
When you respect yourself, it's like, I'm not going to put myself in a situation that's going to be regrettable. I'm not going to make a choice which is going to make me feel better because I care about myself and,
Yeah.
what's worth it. What's worth it?
Yeah. Yes, I mostly agree with that. I get a little
Mostly-ish.
well, I because I get cautious because it starts to sound like a little judgy, a little kind of like value setting or whatever about like, you're disrespecting yourself. I don't know that it's about that. Again, I would say
But
probably
don't you think
a
you
more
respect things you put a value on, like yourself?
well, I guess maybe kind of like a more neutral way
Mm.
of just kind of assessing a situation is by saying, what are my intentions? It brings us back to that, right? And are these misguided intentions? It's not like, oh, I'm disrespecting myself because I don't care about me. It's just like, am I trying to get, one thing from a different place than I, could potentially get it from? And so kind of checking in on that part of it.
What getting one thing from a different place that I could get it from?
Yes, because
What?
because
Okay.
all right, let me say, okay, so I'll just speak
Okay.
personally. So there are for sure moments that I know when I am showing up for my life and I am, I've got meaningful connections with other people
All
and
right.
I'm, invested into meaningful work and I do kind of all the things that are about like self-care and taking care of myself. My
That
cup
sounds
is
like alignment.
my cup is full, right? My
Mm-hmm.
cup is full. And what I notice is that when I put myself out there to meet other people, potentially for dating or maybe for hooking up, I know that I go into those situations with a greater sense of calm because I'm not trying to gain anything from it except from a potential experience or maybe a connection. And conversely, I'll be honest with you, I've experienced this over the last year. I have not been doing the best job of filling my cup up, and I've just been kind of
Uh-huh.
tired and I've just been kind of
Uh-huh.
pulling away from certain things. And I noticed that I do or have, kind of more recently have started kind of like grasping for things like, I want, maybe this boy will want to date me, or, maybe I could have fun in having sex with this person and that'll feel good. And
I like
and
that
that's
voice that you did earlier.
and that's me reaching externally for validation and
Mm.
that's what we've talked about before in here too, which is attachments. Now I'm attaching the need for the outcome of this connection to be
Mm.
positive and then for them to
Mm-hmm.
validate me in order to feel like a success. Now it's not just about a connection with the person, it's about kind of like, oh, tell me I'm good enough.
I
And
know.
that's when it's
I
problematic.
know. That's when it's problematic because you hook up with somebody and you're not going to get that from them.
No.
You're not gonna. It's like you can hook up. I finally got it when I was like, okay, I'm having a whole bunch of sex and I'm
Yeah.
feeling lonely. I'm
Yeah.
having a whole bunch of sex and I'm not feeling cherished. I'm not feeling loved. It's kind of like, well, it's just because it's sex.
Yeah.
So you're not taking care of yourself. But when you take care of yourself, like you said, you show up with a full well. And
Yes.
it's less like give me all it's good, give me
Yes,
yeah yeah.
because when you've got a full cup, then whatever runs over is what everybody else gets.
Well, wham bam damn cam slam jam. I hope that
Yes.
answers your question.